Newspapers, I keep saying this probably in every interview, newspapers used to come 3 days after they were published. That was the remoteness of our town. So sitting there, dreaming to be an actor was almost a sacrilege. The idea of an actor, was larger than life. I wanted to get rid of that.
Adil, you have spent many years in the industry. I think you have done more than 80 movies until now. What do you feel about film industry?
Film industry is in its infancy. Abhi bachcha hai bahut.
How do you pick the roles that you choose? That this is something that I want to do. It's going to maintain my niche also.
The roles that I choose I can only choose from the roles which come to me. Because I do not have an agent who scout out roles for me. I don't have a PR machinery working for me. I never had one.
And yet you live in the hearts of all the audiences that watches you.
It is,
the blessing,
blessing and probably the hard work.
Hello and welcome to Totally Unapologetic with me, Sheikh. दोस्तों, जब हम एक एक्टर के बारे में सोचते हैं तब हमें उनका स्टारडम, उनके फैंस और उनके लग्जूरियस लाइफस्टाइल की याद आती है। पर आज के जो हमारे मेहमान हैं वो अपनी नेचुरल एक्टिंग और सिंप्लिसिटी के लिए जाने जाते हैं। उन्होंने बड़ी बड़ी हिट फिल्मों में एक्ट किया है, जैसे कि इश्किया, बेल बॉटम, इंग्लिश, लाइफ ऑफ पाई, और उनकी मूवी मुक्ति भवन को 32 इंटरनेशनल अवार्ड्स मिले हैं और साथ ही साथ उन्हें भी 2017 में नेशनल अवार्ड मिला। इनका डंका सिर्फ मूवीज़ या OTT प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर नहीं है, बल्कि थिएटर्स के प्ले में भी इन्होंने बड़ा नाम कमाया है। इनका प्ले ओथेलो, अ प्ले इन ब्लैक एंड वाइट को वर्ल्ड वाइड रिकग्निशन मिला। तो चलिए मिलते हैं आदिल हुसैन से और जानते हैं उनकी कहानी के बारे में। Adil Hussain, welcome on the show. How are you doing?
Very well, ma'am. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. It's just been a dream come true today.
No, please.
Yeah, seriously, when we take this name Adil Hussain, something that immediately comes in our mind is an artist, an actor who is having critically acclaimed performances in his kitty. That too with award-winning theaters and films,
I might become a nightmare, you never know.
Yeah. But how does it feel like, being in the industry for so long, maintaining your forte, your genre, and then, coming so long and so far? How does it feel like?
I never thought that I would be sitting here talking to you or anybody,
okay,
for that matter.
Uh-huh.
I come from a small place, Goalpara.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful city, town, not a city, a small town, and on the bank of river Brahmaputra. Born in a very humble house. My father was a teacher, and I grew up not because of health reason, but because of lack of money. I grew up drinking black tea.
Okay.
Because my dad could not afford milk. But he had this amazing dignified personality. My father spoke 5 languages, 6 languages actually: Arabic, Persian, Urdu, English, Hindi, Bengali. English was his strongest, of course, and so I grew up in that household where principles, honesty, integrity, literature, but money was not there. And and also it's a beautiful town on the river Brahmaputra, as I said before. 100 meters from our house on the left is a hill. In front of is a field, and the school where I studied. My mother was 5th standard pass, as we can say, and she was mothering 6 children. Amazingly warm. Every mother generally is, at least then. I don't know now with the modern situation. So I grew up in a very loving house. At the same time, a lot of scarcity in terms of physical wealth, but there was emotional wealth, a lot of love. My brothers were all very old in a sense. My immediate elder brother was 6 years older than me, and then 12 years older, so like that. So I grew up virtually with my friends. And newspapers, I keep saying this probably in every interview, newspapers used to come 3 days after they were published. So that was the remoteness of our town. So sitting there, dreaming to be an actor was almost a sacrilege. Nobody took me seriously.
Then coming from such a background, when did you actually decide that acting is something that you want to do? How did that came in your mind? Giving the, fact that you were having a very strict father, as I have, read about, and the background or the people surrounded by you, I don't think that anyone would have, in that point in time, would have thought that, yeah, we want to pursue acting as career. How did you, come with that thought?
Yeah, my father was almost, how do I say, extremely strict, if I can just put it lightly. And but the thing was that probably I was a rebel, and I still am in a way. I did not want to be told what to do. So all my other brothers, quite a lot of them, had listened to my dad, like, you do this, you do that, and I did not. I fought against it. I had been, punished for that, but I never gave up. And acting, because the town itself had a lot of cultural activities, that is very typical of Assam. Assam is a very culturally evolved place. The theatre, the dance, the music, art, singing, lot of folk songs, traditional songs. So it's a very, like what is known in terms of in Bengal, like every household would have a harmonium. Assam is like that, and probably more than Bengal. And the whole of Northeast has an amazing, very rich cultural heritage. So we grew up with a lot of theatre and literature, as I told you before. So was my dad. He loved singing and theatre, but he did not trust me probably, and he did not also probably envision that one could earn money through acting or theatre unless you become somebody who's big in Bombay. Assam has a very poor film industry. Still, it's not really good. We made films, but very few, and not necessarily that I would be, asked to play roles there. So there was no guarantee that I will earn money, and that was his only fear, of course. So I decided to be an actor probably at the age of 11 or 12, and because I started acting at the age of 8. My first play when I was in class 1, and then class 2, class 3, class 4, 5, so continued doing it. And by the time I was in class, I think that was class 7, I guess, I just knew this is what I want to do. I just wanted to act. It's not that I want to be an actor, but I just wanted to act. And this would be my life. And I followed through. There was a lot of actors in our town, theatre actors, and they were very good actors. And I thought, why not?
So, what was your big break like? What was the first show? I am sure that's Othello.
That was much later.
That was much later.
Okay. After Nationalist Globe.
Wherein I think for Othello you have got a lot of appreciation.
Yes.
From all over the world, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. So how was that experience like for you?
Well, Othello is a breakthrough in a way, because I also performed that play for 10 years. And whatever I have learned in NSD with all these amazing teachers, who taught me with so much of love and generosity, and I was a very slow learner. That's why you see me now, at this age.
I've always found your movie, something really realistic, I would say.
Right.
Something that anyone could relate to. Like when you act, it's
Right.
the fan in me who's just appreciating you right now. But I will literally tell you that when you act, it just feels so natural, to see somebody, somebody like you acting, it doesn't feel like I'm watching a movie or a series or something. It feels like somebody is right in front of me and, just behaving in the very way they can. So it just feels that way. How did you got into this? Like
that realistic acting.
That realistic acting.
No, it was my search. Of course, I grew up watching unrealistic acting, right from Shatrughan Sinha to Raj Kapoor, Raj
like
Kumar,
the way they used to shout and the women around us, all the actresses, the way they used to be shy in front of the cameras. I used to be like, "क्या सच में ऐसा होता है? जाओ तुम यहाँ से." इस तरह की चीजें कैसे होती
थी? I grew up watching that, but then I also grew up actually. My first Hollywood movie was in 1983. It's called Papillon in French. It's called Papillon in French. And I thought that those two actors, Dustin Hoffman and Steve McQueen, I thought they were not actors. I didn't know them. I thought they were picked up from the streets and the director has asked them to act. So watching them, I realized these are the kind of actors that I would like to become. I'd like to understand and learn how to act like them, so that nobody recognizes you, or at least they are convinced that, oh, this person who is playing this role is that person, is not an actor. The idea of an actor, like, was larger than life. I wanted to get rid of that, because you just become the role and you perform. There's not a big deal about it. Yes, to do that you have to work really hard.
Yeah, of course, of course.
But the whole idea of the hero did not, it inspired me when I was a kid, but slowly when you grow, as a person, when you grow and understand that heroes are also necessary, but all heroes have certain villainy in them.
Of course.
We are all grey people. There's no black and white. Maybe one or two or three or four people on the planet. Or maybe there are more, I don't know. But I know few of them that they are completely white, if I compare with black.
Sadil, you have spent many years in the industry. I think you have done more than 80 movies until now. What do you feel about film industry? What do you think of it so far?
I think film industry is in its infancy. अभी बच्चा है बहुत, क्योंकि जब तक cinema or film cinema is taken as a commodity, when commerce dominate the art part, till then I would consider that it's immature. जो immaturity बच्चों में होते हैं या बच्चों में उससे भी कम होते हैं immaturity जो film industry में है, क्योंकि because film is such a cinema is such a strong medium. You cannot take it lightly. There's a huge responsibility which should be there when you make a film. It can change people's perspective. It changes how you look at life. Watching a good piece of film, and I have watched quite a lot of them, and it makes you a larger person, a wider person. It makes you more aware, makes you wiser also, not only wider, but wiser. And it has such power to make you see the nuances of life, and it's this power, when people take it lightly, I have a big problem with that. So the responsibility of the makers are enormous. What they are producing, with what intent they are producing. And I know, I have seen people closely, quite a lot of them are producing just to make money, which is okay. You need money. I can't live without money, I'll die probably. But the priority of earning money, if I have to really only earn money, then I can do other business. I can open a petrol pump, or I can, sell something else. But with a powerful medium, it's like almost giving a nuclear warhead to somebody who is not responsible. And cinema is a weapon, and it had been weaponized by Hitler, it had been weaponized by America, it had been still being weaponized by Hollywood, that they have Hollywoodized the entire world. They have created a market and they are selling the products to India. You know, all these Spider-Man and all the superheroes, they're selling it to us. Where are our heroes? India ka jo heroes hai, where are they? So we have consumed by the Western idea of living life. We are drinking Coke, Pepsi, McDonald's, KFC. All these are sold by Hollywood films. So it is a medium which is extremely powerful, and it has been weaponized. When I say weaponized, means that they are using as a tool to infiltrate in your society. So let me complete this particular argument, that's why cinema should be made with a lot of responsibility. What kind of subject we should talk about? How we can make 80% of Indian population who are emotionally volatile. They're amazing people, loving people, emotionally they're also innocent. How can we make them more mature? How can, like for example, very simple example, probably 60, 70 or 80, probably 90% of Indian population has no idea about the Northeast, that they are Indians. You see, a person come from Nagaland and considered a Chinese, it is a failure of Indian film industry, that culturally they are the powerful medium and we have not included these faces from the Northeast to introduce them to the rest of India.
With that, I would like to take some of your thoughts on the expanding of the OTT platforms that's happening today.
Yes.
And I see, with the OTT platforms, what I notice is that no matter how, famous is the person, all they are seeing is, or they are looking for, is talent. I see great, artists over there who I probably don't know, but I love the way they act, and the kind of content that they are providing or producing.
Yes.
So how are you liking that aspect, of the cinema now?
It's a double-edged sword, I'd say, because lot of soft porn content in the OTT, in the name of OTT contents. But at the same time, as you said, there are great contents. And this will be the case. So viewers' discretion is required at all times. And also the privilege to have access to such great content by you, by me, sitting in our house, on our hands, to watch a South American series, to watch a Scandinavian series or a Turkish series or Israeli series. It's a great opportunity to have access to societies that we have no idea about. Like I was watching a Japanese series, and to be able to see Japan, it's like, so the series have this amazing possibility of, it's like a novel, that you have time. When I say you have time, I'm not talking about the audience, but the makers have the time to go with each and every character to their homes, to give to go into their world and introduce the characters to you, to the audience. Like for example, the series that I acted in called Delhi Crime, and a constable as a sub-inspector. I forgot his character's name, but he's a dear friend of mine, Rajesh Telang, who played the main he is the main character after Shefali. So if it was a story of only hero and heroine and we had only 1.5 hours, we wouldn't have known him very well. Now all these actors that you have mentioned, that I don't know the actor, but we love these actors because they're acting well. They're not only acting well just because they're good actors, also the narrative had been set in such a way, written in such a way, that you go into their lives and you fall in love with them. They have the time, the makers have the time to give to bring out their nuances of life. That's what I have been talking
I
about.
was just watching this Modern Love Mumbai, and I was just watching Prateek Gandhi in it.
Exactly.
The kind of acting that such people do, and there is one more,
and we didn't even know him 2 years ago.
Seriously, I would agree to that. But today, I really like this thing about OTT, that they are literally looking at the talent. They are just not looking at the faces or the, whether they are, known or not, whether people would love them or not. No, all they are producing content, and people are literally watching it and loving it. Now, you have, been in abroad for a very long time, I guess, and you have taught there as well. What is the change in mindset do you find from the people here to there? What is it that you find different?
A good question. Why I'm laughing because...
do you find major change, difference?
No, the first thing you notice there is that how disciplined they are, how honest they are. Like I remember I was on my bicycle in Amsterdam and I was coming back from my performance on a bicycle. Because in Holland, especially in Amsterdam, and most of Holland actually, even the Prime Minister is in a small little car with a secretary, and that's it. Comes to a normal restaurant and has his food sometimes. And people say, "Hi, Prime Minister. Hello, Prime Minister." Imagine the situation here. How much taxpayers' money is spent on security itself. So that's the situation here. I'm not saying that's wrong or right. I'm just saying that's the situation. So in a country like Holland or Norway or Scandinavian countries especially, so I'm on a bicycle and it's winter, -5 degrees, and I had my bicycle light, front light was working and the back light was not working. So I was just about to get into my alley from the main road, and a policeman stopped me. He was also on his bicycle. I said, "I know why he has stopped me," but I pretended I don't know. "Hello, what happened?" "Sir, your backlight is not working." I said, "Oh," I acted as if like, "Oh, really? Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that." Yeah. So he started just filling up a challan, and it's 60 euros. I said, "But my front light is working." "Yes, I know. Somebody is coming from the front, we'll see you. But somebody is coming from the back, will not see you." I said, "There is so much light on the street." He said, "No, what if nobody sees you and hits you? What happens then?" In India, we would have just said that,
"अरे भैया,
जाने
ना,
दो ना
हो गया,
भाई,
गलती
क्या
हो गई,
प्रॉब्लम है,
ठीक है,
साइकिल ही तो है,
ठीक है, हाँ,
या
right.
100 रुपए ले लो, द आदत जो है हमारे यहाँ पर. And I had to pay 60 euros. So the basic honesty of the people, I'm not talking about everybody in the higher level. They all have their situation. I'm not saying painting them in one color. But the fundamental honesty, decency, uncorrupt of officers, so they have it there. So what I'm trying to say that in the face of it, they have fixed the outside world. Outside world in a sense, I'm saying, which is not inside you. They're very good at it. But inside, there is this woman who used to come to clean the company building where I worked. As I used to teach also, and I used to also act. So she used to come in a car, and she has all the basic amenities that any middle class in India would have, but she never smiled. So that's the other problem, that inherently, because you have got wealth, you are not necessarily will be a happy person. So the inner, like here, on the other hand, in India, I'm in a car driving myself and I roll down the window. Suppose someone knocks at the door on the traffic, and this young girl with crying face begging, and if I just tickle or like, and there's a smile with this people, those who are in the 40-degree, 45-degree sun begging, they can also smile. There is something in India, that's the part that I fell in love with India, in spite of being offered a lot of work opportunities, permanent job in Amsterdam, and I said no. this is my country and this is where I belong.
You
The
did
fundamental
pretty well. You
difference,
did. You just mentioned that, and I really like that thing. You just said that it's not important that anyone who has money is happy. You are somebody who has actually accomplished great name in the industry so far. But after reaching to this point, do you still feel that there is some void in your life? There is some
Worry?
void. Yeah, there is
Right.
something that you still need to do. Is there anything like
In terms of work, no.
In terms of work,
In
no.
terms of work, no. I have got one, not a void, but how do I say? I wish to, a good word for it. I wish to sort of dive into playing a role, which is Krishna, my most favorite character. After I read Sri Aurobindo's The Message of Gita, and I don't know how to do it. So I'm exploring that. And I also had been introduced to a different approach to acting. And at this age, I think, what was I doing so far? That is, this particular approach of acting is so different and so difficult, but so enriching and so fulfilling. I've just started in the lockdown and I'm exploring that. So that part, I feel that at this point of time,
So this is next in your mind. That yes, this
so
is what
that's
I
where
want to do.
I'm in a threshold, and that's the next leap that probably I will feel from within that, okay, now I can die.
Let's just go back to your childhood, and discuss a little bit about your, family, how it's been like, how supporting they were. Because I had to struggle a lot. I come from a community wherein I would not call it, I can't just call everyone like that in my community.
Not at all.
Not everyone,
No.
not all the fingers are same.
No.
So that was the same case with mine. But yeah, I had to, convince my parents a lot to be who I am today, coming into the profession that I wanted to come in. So what was the case for you, like how you managed to be who you are today?
A lot of struggle. I told you a little bit about my dad already. My mom was always with me. I am her youngest, the last one, She loved me like hell, and she always supported me. And my brothers were also not really supportive. Not all of them. Some of them were, I don't know why, but they were probably worried that, oh, if he becomes a good for nothing, then they have to support me. This guy is going to come back and will be sitting on their shoulder. Whatever the reasons are, apart from that, there was no conflict of ideology. There was no conflict of that art is not good or anything. That wasn't that. Because they were all evolved people. The fear of that I'll not be able to look after myself economically, that was the only fear I had. And it is a very genuine fear also, that oh, kya karke, kya khayega, paisa kama paega ki nahi paega. And they were all already established. One is a teacher, two of them are lawyers, one of them worked for ONGC, so they're all established, and I was the only one, a vagabond, doing nothing. Till I joined NSD and thought, okay, this guy, and they had no idea what NSD was. Those days, no Google or anything, I even didn't hear about NSD till like 1985. I had no clue what NSD was. There is a school where you were taught acting. I was like, wow. So I can't blame them at all. And now they understand. And now they're very proud of me. Not maybe all of them, but some of them are pretty jealous of me also. That, oh, look at him, So human beings are complex people, and I am one of them, So struggle was there. Also, some of them are extremely loving. So yeah, they're like, as I said, 5 fingers.
5 fingers,
very different.
all are not same. I would just like to know if there is any word of wisdom or a piece of appreciation, advice that you still remember today, back then when you got it. That changed your life probably, or then that changed the complete mindset of
know,
yours, how you
yeah.
want to lead your life now from here on, after this.
Wow, there are so many of them actually.
Yeah.
But probably the best one I would say is my father. He said, doesn't matter what you do, but just try to be the best in that. Even if you want to be a pickpocket, never get caught. So, and that meant that to be best, I don't know, but you can always strive to be the best. Or you can, best in a sense, you better yourself. Instead of competing with the others, that would be my advice to the other, that do not try to compete with the other person, because your standard could be way higher.
Always focus on your grass, yeah.
You
Yeah.
are going to better yourself at all times, and that you don't need anybody's permission to do that, because it's it's your body, it's your mind, your intellect. You can always be better until one dies. One can, so in acting, the best advice I got was that don't try to be brilliant, Adil. Don't try to be good. You are better than brilliant. You are better than good. You can only be better than brilliant every time if you go deeper into the truth of the moment. And that had been my bedrock advice that I always follow. That don't try to be brilliant.
You know what was mine? Would you like to know? Anyways, so mine was, I still remember this teacher of mine who said once that Meher, everyone around you would try to probably put you down.
Yeah.
But there's one thing that you need to remember is, if you like something, you love somebody's work, notice them, learn from them. Nobody is going to teach you. You have to be your own teacher. Just learn from their experiences, watch them and learn and grow. This is what I try to tell my viewers also. If you feel something, do it.
Good, do it.
Do it.
Absolutely.
If you know deep down that this is something that I'm best in and this is what I can really do well, probably, that thing is not going to make much money for you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But money is just money. Okay, it's important.
Yeah.
Yes, it is important. But at the end of the day, your satisfaction is also important, that what you're doing is something that you always wanted to do. So just go for that. There's one more thing, the last thing that I would really like to talk about before we end this beautiful conversation, and the intellectual one, what I call, even if you don't agree to it. I have pretty great friends, in the media industry, having great, accomplishments in their kitties and great careers. Yet there is one thing that they're fear of, which is aging. They have achieved everything, yet there is a fear of aging. Although it's a beautiful thing, I believe. It is beautiful, to age, learn a lot of things with the experiences. How do you see aging,
I don't
do you
know.
fear of it?
I only have concern.
Uh-huh.
My concern is that if I don't look after my body, I'll age faster. I have certain habits which I need to get rid of. I don't want to talk about the habits, but
right.
because there's no need for that. No, I don't have fear. I just have concern, and nobody can stop you from aging. None. But you can still live a healthy life if you age, if you practice certain things, which I have started. So it's good. I had been physically fit since my childhood, in a way. I am never very unhealthy. I'm a moderate.
You are absolutely fit, as I can put it in one sentence. I would say you're definitely fit.
But it takes time to recover from the strain that, after you cross a certain age. No, I'm looking forward to my old age, and also experiment that, see how much I can hold up what I envision about myself after 20 years.
But with the age you have, especially your craft, your art, it has increased so well. People are loving you more and more for what you are doing. You are becoming actually bigger than what you were. So I'm sure it's a pretty good feeling.
It is. No, I'm just concerned about that aspect of it, that I have to really now look after myself. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much, Adil.
Pleasure.
It was a wonderful, conversation. I'm sure, and I'm pretty much literally sure that people are going to love the content that we have created together. They would learn a lot from the experience that you've got. And great wishes from all your fans, and you keep doing pretty well.
Thank you.
You have been doing for so many years.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adil.